Hi, welcome back to TV Fails, where we examine shows from my era that lasted one season or less. This episode is called The Gray Lady. Who is she?
And now here comes one of the stars, Miss Nicole Bridew.
Okay, she's gray. So is everybody else. It's a black and white show. What's your point? Filming on her next project was delayed for 2 months while she recovered from a broken nose. When her aide suggested that she should try walking with her eyes open, she fired him.
How do you like America?
America, oh, America is...
Beautiful.
I am most grateful for the opportunity. I shall stay in Hollywood forever and make wonderful movies.
And buy wonderful diamond bracelets.
Get used to those quick cuts like that. The episode is full of them. I get the feeling our editor wanted to get it over with so he could pee. Our man is already in the ladies' room, ready to go to work. That's one of those inversion lamps. You put the bulb in upside down so the electricity flows the other way.
Where you going, lover?
This guy is nothing if not Mr. Cool. I think Honey's impressed.
Who are you, by the way? I hate being arrested by strangers.
Honey West.
Honey West. Well. The girl, private eye. Don't you know a woman's place is in the home?
This is no time for a proposal. Just hand over the loot.
Guess you can't win 'em all. Might as well kiss the lady goodbye.
What lady?
Just an elegant friend I had a kind of date with.
Since it's the name of the episode, I'll guess the Gray Lady, whoever she is.
Mind if the condemned man has a last cigarette?
Go ahead, but no quick moves.
Bet you say that to all the boys.
Only you, lover.
Keep talking. I'm beginning to get your message.
I was about to say don't let him get within reach, but I think she wanted him to do that so she could do that.
What are you looking for?
My contact lens must have dropped out while I was airborne.
Contact lens.
So I'm vain. Turn on that light, will you please?
By the way, when you put the bulb in upside down, it also turns into a flashbang. She calls Sam on her lipstick and describes the thief. Sam is down in the parking garage waiting to hear from her. He'll be watching the service elevator. For all the good it'll do him. Miss Nicole is not pleased.
Let's take this from the top. Miss West, exactly why were you hired?
Maybe you better ask her.
Well,
I read in the papers about a thief who robs celebrities. I think to myself, how interesting it would be to have him apprehended in my room.
a publicity stunt.
The actress's name is Nancy Kovac, and she has an amazing story. Started college at 15, graduated at 19, and held tons of beauty titles by 20. She did a fair bit of acting, but seems to have stopped around 1976. In 1969, she married world-famous orchestra conductor Zubin Mehta, and at last report, they're living happily ever after in L.A. The lieutenant is also not pleased that Honey went along with it, as if she had any idea she was being used like that.
You're a licensed private investigator. I hope you realize that that license can be revoked at any time.
Pull your license, blah, blah, blah. Why is that always the first place they go?
You're new on robbery detail, aren't you, Lieutenant Keith?
Yes, started a few weeks ago. Why?
Because that would be why you don't realize how many other lieutenants have said that to her, and she's still standing while we never see them again.
I was just saying to Sam, the force needs new blood. Wasn't I, Sam?
Sure.
Especially men under 40.
Well,
You know, you and I ought to get together for dinner someday soon. I like to establish a personal relationship with a new man. It helps me to cooperate with the department.
Honey, I think you have a keeper here. Bat your fake eyelashes at him a couple more times and he'll give you his badge. Sam wants her to drop this and work on some paying cases. But all that paying bills and buying food stuff can wait. This is about her reputation, dagnabbit. And besides, she has a lead.
Our friend dropped something last night. I neglected to mention it to the police.
What?
He said something about kissing the lady goodbye. I think he was talking about his next caper.
Go on, go on.
I did some checking. There's a very famous diamond worth nearly $250,000, and guess what it's called?
You tell me.
The Gray Lady.
The owner is one Ms. Babs Ivar. Married a much older man, inherited his wealth, now married to a much younger and probably more virile man. She lives in New York.
So what are we going to do, commute?
We don't have to. According to the newspapers, they're arriving this...
Yeah, stop doing that! She said they. I assume that means Babs and her husband.
Jerry, darling, where's the chauffeur?
He should be here. I sent word.
By carrier pigeon?
No, telegram. He should be here.
He should have been here. Jerry, darling, how many times have I told you? I don't like waiting in cold, drafty airports.
I'm sorry, Babs, darling.
My mistake. She meant Babs and her two lapdogs. Fortunately, the one is big enough to carry the other. Honey and Sam are observing the happy couple when Honey notices something.
Look what she's wearing.
Jaja must have missed one.
Well, I wouldn't mind stealing that myself.
You might have to wait in line.
Well, the bait's here. Let's hope the fish are biting.
Yes, she's wearing the Gray Lady diamond. And with nobody but Sir Snivel to guard her, just about anybody could snatch it off her and have a good chance of getting away. Not that her ego would ever let such a plebeian thing happen. Really, Sam? Littering? And there's a trash can right there. Now somebody else has to pick up after you. But I don't think he minds much. It gives him an excuse to do what he's doing here. Cesare Danova was the perfect image of the suave, handsome Italian leading man who made the women swoon. And it almost didn't happen. As a youth, he was into athletics and wanted to pursue it, but his family insisted he had to be a doctor. He studied medicine just long enough to give himself a nervous breakdown. While he was recovering, someone introduced him to producer Dino De Laurentiis. When De Laurentiis offered him a screen test, Mr. Danova thought he was joking. He wasn't, and our man found his niche. He acted successfully in Italy for a time, and Hollywood spotted him around 1956. Director William Wyler brought him to the U.S. to star in his upcoming blockbuster, Ben-Hur. Danova didn't speak a word of English and started learning his lines by rote. He already spoke 4 other languages, so getting the hang of English wasn't too hard. But at the last minute, almost literally, Wyler decided he didn't want an actor with an accent, dumped Danova, and hired Charlton Heston. MGM kept him under contract and continued to pay him, but it was a couple more years before they gave him anything to, do. He appeared in several movies, including Cleopatra with Elizabeth Taylor, but movie roles were drying up. He made the jump to television and lived well doing roles like this one. And he's thoroughly convincing here.
Miss West.
You're very punctual, Mr. Ivar.
I usually am when I hear my wife might be robbed. Do you mind telling me what this is all about?
She lays it out. A jewel thief has his eye on your wife's diamond. The plan? She puts the diamond in the hotel safe. You hire me. I hide in your room and catch the thief.
What's so funny?
You, Miss West, delicious.
I beg your pardon?
I must say that yours is a rather original, if crass, way of getting clients.
Well, suit yourself, Mr. Ivar. It's your wife's $250,000.
How nice of you to remind me. And now, good day, Miss West.
He has to have heard about the previous theft, so he knows she's telling the truth about the jewel thief. But he doesn't seem to care. I'm guessing his job is just to carry it around when his wife isn't wearing it. It's her job to care about it.
Mr. Ivar, I have one thing to say to you.
Stop doing that! Whatever she said to him, Sam is shocked and Ivar turned purple. She's taking her anger out on the targets and she has a plan. Of course it involves Sam.
Television set, sir.
We already have one.
We already have one.
The hotel wants you to have a newer model. There's no charge.
So if it's free, we'll take it.
Yes, Miss Free, we'll take it.
It's amazing. You can't even see the strings that operate his mouth. I hope I don't have to point out that there's something special about the new set.
Not that one, this one.
A new kind of set. It watches you.
At the time in America, there was kind of a standing joke that was how Russian TV worked. They watch Babs push her husband around some more, and then the happy couple leaves. How henpecked is this guy, I hear you ask? Does that answer your question? But they're boring. We're not interested in them. What's on Honey's TV is much more interesting. And now she knows how he pulled that little getaway. It's time for Honey to go to work. Shouldn't she call Sam? This is the sort of thing they promised us in the beginning. She climbs down to the right balcony and slips inside. Her gun is in her boot.
Beautiful.
I didn't know you cared.
This is where I came in.
My mistake. It's in her hand.
What's going on here?
A funny thing happened to me on the way to my TV set.
Miss West, what are you doing here? Who is this man?
The jewel thief you didn't believe existed?
You mean...
I mean, I'm on overtime. You're going to get quite a bill.
Funny, he doesn't seem to be too excited about a jewel thief breaking into his room. Excuse me, his wife's room.
The Gray Lady?
Still your virginal property.
I don't know how to thank you.
And you could start by calling the police. This is getting heavy.
And now we know why he doesn't seem too excited.
Jackass! You dumb, stupid jackass. Everything we worked for, planned on. You let a girl blow it all.
She's like a bad penny.
What a setup. Your wife's diamond and you're a thief. The old insurance game, and I was dumb enough to fall for it.
And by the way, if she had called Sam, he wouldn't have answered. Ivar spotted him and put a nice big lump on his head.
Get rid of her.
What?
Don't you see it'll work for us? I'll say I hired her to guard the Gray Lady. You broke in, she tried to stop you, and whoosh, an 8-story drop.
You're right, Miss West. He is thorough.
More than you know. Well, I'm sure he told you the truth about the Gray Lady.
What about the Gray Lady?
Well, he's selling the real Gray Lady. You're going to have a great time down in Mexico, or wherever you're going trying to peddle that fake.
Thanks to the good old principle of honor among thieves, Abbott is just suspicious enough that he's going to check. He literally brought a knife to a gunfight.
Oh! All right. Let's play your game, Miss West.
He seems rather well equipped to play it. Why is she running? Because he broke the table? While his hand was down here was the perfect time to bash him in the nose. After everything else she did this episode, this is a little out of character. Amazing what happens when you actually hit him and stuff instead of running away, eh? Do everybody a favor and stay down. Sam is in the hospital recovering. Ivor must have hit him as hard as he hit that table, or the repeated bonks on the head are starting to have a cumulative effect.
I'm sorry, Sam. Really, I am. There. All better?
I think gangrene just set in.
Well, thanks a lot.
Well, now that you nearly got us both killed saving a phony jewel for a phony millionaire, who pays us?
Publicity? Columns of it. Our phone's been ringing like the bells of St. Mary's. We're booked solid.
I think Sam is starting to feel better.
Mr. Bolts, I have to change your bandage now.
So long, Sam. I'll see you later.
Wait a minute. I want to hear about those jobs.
I have a luncheon appointment. Besides, you know how I hate the sight of blood.
On the other hand, maybe he should stay here a while longer. Can't be too careful, you know. I hope I don't have to point out that there's something special about we are not Canadian. What's on Honey's teeth? Does that answer your question? Okay. Come on, good grief. Or the repeated bonks on the head are starting to have a cumulative effect. But there's a word for you.